Lifechangers starts now.
I want people to think of the show as the answer show, sort of like a search engine for their life.
All right, Robin, we've been talking about the nature of your problem. I want to get into the solution a bit, okay? I have a life changer who specializes in addiction and psychiatry. She is excellent, and she can begin this process of change. Her name is Dr. Soroya Bacchus. Please welcome Dr. Bacchus. How are you? Good to see you again.
Nice meeting you, Robin.
So, Dr. Bacchus, it is a intense, dramatic story. I know one that you have heard many times. I've heard many times.
Yeah.
Where do we need to start? What needs to happen here?
You know, Robin, it sounds like things have happened in your past that have been very difficult for you. You know, that situation when the house was burning down, how did you feel when you were actually being pulled out of school, being taken to that moment, and your mom's not really saying anything?
I think when you're a child, you don't ask questions. You think everything around you is normal. So I thought that was just, that's what we had to do. We just saw our house burn down. But that year, that's when my dad just took off, you know. And then he'd come back a few months later. I don't know what he was up to. I think he was really up to no good that I don't know about, you know, things like that.
Yeah, you were thinking about a lot of things.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I felt like everything's gone. Like people always ask, well, where's your baby picture? Well, I only have like 1 or 2. I don't have that many baby pictures of me. Because everything's just gone. It's like your whole life is just, in an instant, it's gone.
It's gone. But how did you feel about you at that time?
I felt horrible. I felt like I was not a human being. I felt like, why have me in this world if you don't even care about me, you know?
It's very powerful.
Bad?
I felt bad. I felt demoralized. I felt I had no value. It was so...
No value?
Yeah, no value.
Bad?
Yeah. I felt like I was raised to feel bad about myself, so I would just, well, I must be bad then. I just believed it.
But what about how you're feeling in terms of being bad? I mean, how does that make sense? How is feeling bad the same thing as being a bad person?
Well, I believe in the law of attraction. Like, if you're bad, you feel bad.
No, think about that. How does feeling bad make you a bad person?
You just...
Meaning, you've kind of taken some emotions and things that had happened and things that were really difficult, and now you've sort of rationalized them into, I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
And being a bad person, meaning I have to do something to always feel better.
And now they feel better, but it seems like you have to use bad people to you can only be close to bad people.
Right.
And act in a bad way with bad people.
Right.
Which makes you feel empowered and good and euphoric. And then afterwards, what?
I detach.
Shame, numb, all that old stuff.
Exactly.
Traumatic reenactment all over again. Well, are there specific things she can do? Are there things that people may know? And by the way, although Robin's story is extreme, everybody has little versions of these kinds of things. In fact, Robin, I bet you came into sex addiction through love addiction. I bet you got infatuated people, and got very involved very quickly with people. Paul kind of describes that story a little bit.
But I don't feel like I was as bad as he said I was. Like,
I didn't hear anything that bad, by the way.
I know, I'm just like, I don't know.
It just sounded like they were strategies to try to make you feel better.
To try to have some sort of connection, some sort of closeness, try to feel better. But so a lot of us can relate to, you know, certainly we've all been adolescents. We have had infatuations and things, and people have had situations perhaps where they've acted out sexually in ways they wonder what was that all about, or I just did it to feel better, I don't feel good about myself now. So what are things, Dr. Bacchus, people can do now to effectuate some change with these kinds of behavior?
Maybe we need to stop them right now so we can kind of feel what we're really feeling. You keep talking about numbed out. Yeah. There's a time when you felt bad. Now we're trying not to feel anything, and then you kind of try to feel better with all these liaisons. Well, maybe we need to just stop the behavior. And be able to tease out how we really feel deep down inside, or at least take a moment to pause through that. So I want you to actually visualize a stop sign.
Okay.
While you're seeing the stop sign, the big red stop sign in your mind, I want you to take a deep breath. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. One more time, out through your mouth, which now gives you a chance to pause. Pause, where now you're going to move to the next step, and that's Plan B.
Right.
Plan B is something that should help you relax, something that you can do immediately.
Right.
I'm going to go across the room and sip a water, or I'm going to listen to my favorite song, or I'm just going to...
How about something that makes you feel good in the moment without having a side effect of shame and guilt and all kinds of things?
Exactly. Something that just stops the thought and the moment of feeling so nervous, feeling so anxious, feeling so bad.
Okay, ladies, we're going to have to take another quick break, so hang with us here. We'll continue. Be right back. Dr. Bacchus, do you have anything to say to this as well?
I think the way, or what we've all talked about, is awesome, meaning you've really got to start learning how to hug yourself, love yourself, versus hugging up on everybody else and trying to find yourself in somebody else, particularly in those kind of relationships.
Yeah, that's what
relationships that don't last and don't mean anything and often just cause you to feel worse, empty, sadder.
But I felt as the addiction progressed, I became able to detach from it more, like I wouldn't, oh well.
But dissociating is a common strategy to help you deal with really painful thoughts about yourself.
It also makes you more dependent on the addictive arousal. Now that's all you got to feel alive, is the intense euphoria of the addiction. And the way I always, when I'm dealing with addicts as it pertains to this issue, I find many of them can't go right to hugging themselves. But if you can at least first welcome another person close, connect to another, connect to self. Connect to other, connect to self. And it sort of all happens simultaneously, really. Thank you, Sharon O'Hara. Thank you, Dr. Bacchus.
I'm Dr. Soroya Bacchus, and here are my top takeaways for coping skills. L, live in the moment. E, examine and challenge your thoughts. A, acquire new coping skills. R, learn to relax. And N, learn to say no.